Hey there nation, welcome to the show. We help you to play miniatures wargaming on a budget. It is I, Commander CheapSkate, and now it's time for another edition of Hobby Side videos. This time it's another army showcase, this time looking at our two largest gangs from our Necromunda Tales and the Underhive battle reports, and these ones are our two gangs. This is the Jury of House Cawdor versus the Scavvies of the people leaders of the Scavvies. And so these are two largest gangs that we have in our Necromunda campaign. We're going to talk about exactly how each one of these gangs were kind of created and how we went about making them, as well as the kind of like the design aspect behind them as well. And so today on this video we'll start off with the Jury of House Cawdor, and then we'll move on, of course, to the people leaders afterwards. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's go and talk about the Jury real fast. Alright, so this is my personal gang. This is the Jury of House Cawdor is what they're called, as the gang that I use. This is basically the gang I use for my entire Battle Report series that I use specifically for our Necromunda campaign as well. This was the very first gang that I purchased, and it's just one of my favorite gangs to use. I remember looking at these guys in White Dwarf magazine in the mid-90s when I was a kid, and I thought these guys looked really cool with their blue tabards and hoods and executioner's masks. I thought they were really, really cool looking, and I loved their rules about how fierce and close combat fanatical they were, and I decided to kind of go with it, and I've been playing these guys ever since. Let's go talk about exactly what these guys are made of. So this kit here, my gang, is a combination of a couple things. First of all, it's the original Gavthorpe sculpts that are done in pewter from Necromunda, so I have a couple of those guys making up the majority of my gang. I have some conversions, and I also have some Chaos Cultists from Warhammer 40,000 from the Dark Imperium box set. I also have some conversions as well. So let's go and start off with the leader. This guy, this is Riptor, my leader of my gang. This guy is the original 1995 Gavthorpe sculpt of the leader of the Cawdor guys. These guys came in a box set of 8 when I originally got them. I just like the look of it. He's got a chain sword, auto pistol, and bolt gun. Kind of went with the design from White Dwarf magazine from way back then. Blue tabards, black executioner masks, black leather goods, like this burnt Sierra kind of colored pants, as well as khaki pontoons for their boots. And yeah, just really love the way this design came out for that guy. So that's Riptor there. Next up on the list here, we have one of my conversions. This guy is for Johnny, as his name. As you can see, the main body is primarily a Chaos Cultist from the Dark Imperium box set. I just took a war pick from a Chaos Marauder to give him a pick, as well as a plasma gun from Warhammer 40k, and just kind of glued it to there. So painted this guy in the same kind of color scheme as the rest of the gang. So nice little conversion there. Up next we have Reptile. This is my other guy, Reptile. This is a ganger. He's just a Chaos Cultist that I painted up in the colors of House Cawdor, Cawdor that I used up. So as you can see, just a very simple looking thing, but the bird beak mask kind of makes him look like a Cawdor member. This is a Juve. This one usually was original Reptile one that I originally used for the Juve. It's just a Juve character from the original pewter set, Gavthorpe, of course. This is an original box set of 8 that you bought at the time. Same thing with this guy, another ganger, armed with a last rifle. He's exactly the same way as well, so he came with the pewter set as well. Same thing with this guy with a shotgun. Very, very cool miniature. Same thing with this guy here. He's a ganger with the last gun. He also came with that box set as well. Same thing with this Juve, who's armed with a stub gun. And I believe these last two figurines, this guy who's armed with an auto gun, he was from the original box set, and same thing with the heavy. This is Stubber, who's armed with a heavy stubber as well. So yeah, very, very cool miniatures from that kit as well. Now, I also, like I said before, I have some other miniatures in this group as well. Let's go and start with these guys. These two guys here are Redemptionists. They're originally from the Redemption line of miniatures, but I just like the way they looked, and plus the way I painted them up, they kind of fit perfectly within my gang as well. This guy looked really cool. He has 2 auto pistols and a full mask and body armor. Very, very cool miniatures there. These guys here are Chaos Cultists from the Dark Imperium game. Just using for my gang. As you can see, there's the 2 that are just from there. This guy I actually kind of did a little bit of converting to. I replaced his hand with a bolt gun from a Dark Angels Imperial Space Marine. So I just used that to make his bolt gun. and that's where those guys came from. This guy is another Cawdor miniature that I bought from a bit box at my local gaming store. I got this guy for like $2. It was just a miniature with no gun in his hand, so I had to take a plastic Imperial Guard rifle, latest rifle put there. I also put a grenade launcher there on his back as well, so that way he can be like a specialist. And this guy, from all my Warhammer 40k fans, should be identified. This guy, this is Sorter. He's my heavy armor, the last cannon. This is actually an Astropath miniature. I took the barrel of a last cannon and attached it to a last rifle stock is what I did, and just kind of green stuffed it. Then ran a piece of cable to the back of this radio backpack for Voxbox, and just kind of put that one there as well to come in and look like a converted last gunner. So yeah. And that pretty much makes up my House Cawdor guys for the jury. My very favorite first gang and my very favorite game to play. Alright, next up we're going to talk about the people eaters next. Alright, next up we have the people eaters. This is our Scavvy gang that my buddy O'Death uses. And as you can see, it's actually just a combination of converted miniatures, which are these miniatures over here, some Warhammer Fantasy Battle miniatures over here, as well as Chaos Cultists from Warhammer 40,000 Dark Imperium. And that pretty much makes up the people eaters. Just painted up to make them look like they're really scuzzy, using some technical paints on how to do that. So first of all, let's go and start with the gangers real quick. So these gangers, like I said before, they're all miniatures from the Warhammer 40k Dark Imperium box set. These are the Chaos Cultists that came with that unit. Pretty much you want to kind of go like this mutant wasteland type of look with these guys. So we dress them a lot of browns, blacks, grays, as well as some highlight colors of red to make it look like they just took some red fabric and, you know, tied it off to represent themselves as members of a gang. And that's pretty much how we went about making these guys. Their weapons, we use Typhus Corrosion, which is a type of technical paint that's manufactured by Games Workshop. We use that to kind of make their weapons look really rusty and cruddy, because that's what Scavvies do. They really don't have any really good weapons of their own. And if you look at the base here, what we did is we took just normal Sector Imperialis base, but we also coated in a healthy amount of Nurgle's Rot, as well as Typhus Corrosion and Rise of Rust to make it look like it was like this kind of like dirty, chemical spilled, rusted area that these guys are living in at. And that's how we actually made those guys. These 6 guys right here, anyone who plays Warhammer Fantasy Battle knows exactly who these guys are. These guys are just zombies from that fantasy wargaming system is all they are. We just mounted them on the bases. We also use a lot of blood from the Blood God to make them look more bloody and gory. Now let's go on to the conversions over here for our mutants. So first of all, we have our leader, Bloodwing. This guy is actually conversion. You can see it's a Marauder for the chest as well as for the legs. The head here is actually mask was made from a shoulder pad from Marauder, so you can see the back of his head there. That we use that to make a mask out of. And these plastic wings, I don't forget the name of the company. The company that I went to my local game shop. Oops, my local game shop just sold just a bag of these wings for like $5. It's made out of resin, so I just bought them real quick and just used them to make the mutant with the wings. That's all I did for that guy. Now these guys here, the Scavvies as well as the Nerfs, these are the little mutant guys. These, if you look really close, these are Warhammer 40k Grots, is what they are. So they're little Grots, little goblins from that line, from the bodies. And all we did is we took the heads and replaced them with ghoul heads from Crypt Ghouls. That's what we did to create those guys. See if you look really close to this guy, you see 2 Crypt Ghoul heads as well as a Grot body. These Nerfs were a lot of fun to make and to also paint up as well. So very, very fun little dudes there. That's why we made them. And these guys here are made from orcs, from knobs specifically. This guy was the Runt Herder from the body, is a Runt Herder body from that line. Same thing with the gun. The gun is from a knob. The little shriveled up arm is from a mutant, is from a Marauder with a pick there, and the head is an ogre. So this guy looks all screwed. He's got like a huge body, big head, big deformed arm, little small arms. So that's the kind of way we went about making this guy looking all deformed for that guy. This one here is from Warhammer 40k. It's an orc knob body that we just used. So guns, sword, knives. This is Snarl, by the way. We also took a knob custom shooter and cut off all the bits and bobs just to make it like into a normal shooter at that point. And then we put, of course, an orc head on his face to make him look into a scaly. And then this guy here is also an orc knob body. This is the spear gun guy. And the head is from the cave squig that was used on the Runt Herder that we used. We took that squid head and just from the top here to make it look like he's reptilian. So yeah, that's pretty much how we made that Scavvy as well. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for the people eaters. Very, very simple kind of build. just keep bashing and putting different lot of miniatures together to make one cohesive gang on that one. So that's going to do it for this edition of Hobby Side, ladies and gentlemen. As always, please feel free to like, comment, and or subscribe. Your guys' input is valuable as always. And check us out on Facebook, Instagram, as well as Google+, for all the latest and greatest what we're doing for Hobby. That's going to do it for this one, you guys. You guys stay classy. Peace out.